Ladies and gentlemen, we are into our second week of Great League Remix, and that means that the meta is pretty well defined, but there's always edges to eke out with other interesting mon that are core breakers to things that are going on. And one of the ones I wanted to showcase today is UNOVA STUNFISK. So this is being used by Rockhaven. He hit number 2 on the leaderboards at 3582. Making sure I get that right from the other monitor there. And yeah, so the team is actually really interesting. It's UNOVA STUNFISK in the front with Sableye, with Purified Sableye in the back as the safe swap, and then you also have Dewgong as, I guess, a finisher, and not only just a finisher that can throw debuffs into Mon, so has the ability to flip a matchup at the very end of the three Mons each there. So it's a very interesting team. UNOVA STUNFISK, the things that is specifically hitting are Mantine, absolutely destroys. You're also doing great against Steelix. I should also say the UNOVA STUNFISK running Thunder Shock to have a little bit better matchup, I think, against all the waters. So that really being like for Alligator, Empoleon. Empoleon's another one that it just absolutely crushes. Yeah, so those are the Mon, and you're going to be neutral against Annihilate, which is nice. The bad thing is you're going to be very bad against Gligar with UNOVA STUNFISK. You don't have anything that can hit it for anything above single resisted. And at worst, you're hitting double resisted. So that's why you're ABB to it. Really, it's kind of like an ABC comp. You just have Sableye as a safe swap. That's, Sableye's been pretty safe for the last like 4 or 5 seasons. The last 2 seasons, it's had a little bit of a drop off with Lickitung being more of the better safe swap, but not really running Lickitung anymore, or not able to run it in Remix Cup, I mean. So let's go ahead and get into the battles, though. But first, if you haven't, definitely hit the subscribe button. Only 35% of people are subscribed to the channel, so if you like what you're seeing, definitely hit the subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into it. So UNOVA STUNFISK here into Croncolore, I think is the name of it, and then they switch into Galvantula here. Obviously, this is a very good matchup still for STUNFISK. You can't really hit it too hard, so actually it probably does live, or especially after the line, it probably definitely lives 2 Mud Bombs. This is one of the things that's interesting with this team. The swap-ins end up being like Steelix or even Galvantula, I think, swapped into me twice, which is weird. I mean, that just means the core breaker is definitely working well. I think this is definitely not going to KO, but we're definitely going to have 2, but they can definitely throw another one, but it's fine. I think we can always shield and farm another 5 Thunder Shocks here. Again, against Galvantula, you can always go 5 Thunder Shocks. They have to throw 3 Volt Switches, which means it's going to take them 12 turns, and it's only going to take you 10 turns to get to the Mud Bombs. But you definitely don't want to throw on CMP, so don't throw on 6, obviously. They do end up coming in with Cresselia here, and I was unfortunate. I was always going to switch into my safe swap here. But Cresselia is actually very good. It's kind of a core breaker to us, so you really want the Sableye on that. They end up going for a non-shield here, and then I'm just like, can I actually farm this down? It's going to be close because I don't know if I can go 4 here. I think I can only go 2, so I have to throw. Bit unfortunate, but we are going to get into the Cresselia here if they do let it go for a little bit of damage. Okay, they don't let it go. And again, we couldn't have thrown because they would have... Well, we probably would have won CMP, though, so... it's risky, though. I could end up coming with Dewgong because I can get a little bit more farm, plus I can probably get the Icy Wind debuff. Definitely want to go for the debuff here. You want to make sure your Dewgong can live 2 Grass Knots, which means Dewgong might be able to get 3 moves off. And then they end up getting debuffed, and I end up coming in with this STUNFISK because I have a lot of energy, and I don't want to get into a weird situation where we're going to come in and actually like CMP against them. But here I'm left to a tough decision. Even though I can live 2 Grass Knots at this point, it's going to take me a long time to get to these energy counts, and they're obviously going to get there a bit faster than me. So it's a question of, do I go for the Drill Run or do I go for another Grass Knot? I see here, or another Icy Wind rather. I see here that it's going to be close to me living another Grass Knot, so I don't know for sure, but I decide I'm just going to Icy Wind. I'm going to know that I lived this one for sure, and then hopefully I can either farm down or get to this move. I am technically a turn cycle ahead of them, but they end up getting KO'd. All right, Empoleon. This is where Thundershock really comes in handy. They end up switching into this Annihilate, and you don't have the best answer to Annihilate because you're neutral here, but Sableye does have Shadow Claw, which is super effective, which is nice. But you're probably going to take a Shadow Ball in the meantime as well. So I'm just going to switch to Sableye. I'm going to go for the farm down. You live a Shadow Ball with like 30% HP. Guess it kind of depends what XL your Sableye is at. But mine's not that good, so to be honest. I do have enough XLs, I think, to make another one. I just don't have a very good one to make. So hopefully they do come back into the Rocket events soon, and then hopefully we get a Rocket event in general to remove frustration from a lot of the Shadowmon that we still have. Yeah. Obviously, the one tough thing about Empoleon is a Hydro Cannon is actually going to do a ton of damage, and they do have 2 here. I'm going to decide to double shield. I think they're going to double throw and then go into another Mon here. Ends up being a Gligar. Obviously, Gligar is getting raffle stomped by the Dewgong here. So this is another good thing about having a Dewgong in the back. If they are trying to safe swap Gligar, which is a very safe swap in this meta, or even in Open Great League and just in general, you have an answer for that. So yeah, they come back in with Empoleon. You can throw the Drill Run. I think that technically our UNOVA STUNFISK will survive a Hydro Cannon. It's possible I could have gone for Icy Wind, but it would have been a little risky. I think we're going to live this. It is very bulky, but you can see that the CP on my UNOVA STUNFISK is not great, 1477. Yeah, it's not the best UNOVA STUNFISK, but it is the one I have, so I built it a very long time ago. Okay, obviously Quagsire, a very terrible lead. They end up switching into Jellicent, which is weird. Yeah, I mean, we live a Shadow Ball. The thing is, they also live a Foul Play, and they threw early. Oh, that was another thing. They threw early on this one, so I knew it was a Surf no matter what. So then I get extra Shadow Claws in. You see, I almost have 2 Foul Plays ready. But they're always going to be able to throw the Surfs a little bit before me if I am trying to go for efficient timing. But since they had to shield first, I'm always going to go for that efficient timing because we know we have the advantage in the shield department. Plus, I can win CMP here if they do decide to shield, and I'll throw double Foul Play. I think they do end up letting it go. And then they end up coming in with a Gligar, and I decide I'm probably only going to get 1 move off. So I'm going to go for this return. The odds of them shielding seem pretty low. And if they do shield, I always have this Dewgong in the back. I end up switching in just even into the Gligar because I know that my Dewgong is going to be good against both of these. It's double ground types. And I know that UNOVA STUNFISK is terrible at this point, so I might as well get that jump on energy lead. Salazzle, it threw after 2, so it can only be a Poison Fang. I probably should have gone up to 4 here, but I was taking a lot of damage, so I decided just to throw this in. It's a one-shot anyways. Probably going to end up going into Sableye. I do throw this move before, but I definitely am going to switch in. I'm sure. Maybe I know I can outpace to another move here. Okay. I probably should have switched to Sableye at this point. I think this is a bit of a mistake by me here. I'm reduced. Oh, I guess. Oh, okay. I know what I'm doing. I don't really want this to face Dewgong. So I'm just going to throw away Stunfisk here and hope that Dewgong's good in the back. Usually if they're double weak, the back will be a flyer. So we'll see. And if it is a flyer, obviously Dewgong going to be in a good spot here. Probably have to go for the shield. Grass Knot would probably KO, but Rock Slide wouldn't. They end up going for the bait. Tough. Ends up being a Steelix here. Let's see what the Steelix moveset is. It ends up being Thunder Fang, which I didn't notice at first, and that's kind of tough. But this is always going to be a Psychic Fang here. Obviously, they just want to reduce our defense if they're just going to be hitting us with this Electric Fast Attack. Now, this, I think people could try out. I think this is probably really good on Steelix to catch people off guard. Obviously, he's getting to these moves really quick. I think I can still live another one here, and I want to save the shields for Sableye anyways, and I think that an Icy Wind probably is enough to KO. Plus, if they end up shielding, they're going to be reduced on damage. And I can CMP on this move, so I do go for the move. I think they run away. I definitely don't know the energy counts for Thunderfang, so that's tough. And I knew they were in farm down range here on the Credillia, and they didn't have a move since they already threw like 4 moves. This is where it shines. Absolutely shining light. If you get a UNOVA STUNFISK into Magnezone, Magnezone is done. You don't need a single shield. You don't even need like 30% HP to beat this thing. So they do end up having a Shadow Hypno, which is very interesting. It does have Shadow Ball, which I think is the right moveset. I guess I would use... Trying to think what other fast attack you'd be... Or what other charge attack you'd be using. I guess Thunder Punch. Yeah, probably Thunder Punch. You'd be a little weak to the Magnezone, but that's fine. They do end up farming us down here, but we have Thunder Shock, so we get actually a lot of extra energy going into this. I throw a Thunderbolt. I wish it did have Thunderbolt. It has Discharge, which is not a great move, but still super effective against the Feraligatr here. And then I decide I'm just going to come in Dewgong, kind of throw Dewgong away, but I'm always going to be throwing the Drill Runs just because I'm trying to do just damage to this thing. We resist everything if it does have Ice Beam, which it seems like it does because they would have thrown the Crunch at that time. And I'm saving the shield for Stunfisk anyways, so this is pretty GG. I mean, this is where Stunfisk is just a shining light, a pillar of this team. I guess I could have thrown Icy Wind there, and it would have been fine. Yeah, it would have been even better, actually. This Feraligatr actually has an annoying amount of energy. Luckily, I have Thunder Shock, so I guess I'll just try to farm this down, and then I can also farm down the Magnezone. But a Wild Charge from the Magnezone is criminally no damage because you triple resist it. Sorry, I think it does like 15% or something. Plus, it was in Thunder Shock range anyways here, and that's gonna be GG. A Nidoqueen, and it's over. Nidoqueen also doing no damage. I guess you can go Earth Power and it is super effective, but maybe they had Stone Edge. I have seen Nidoqueen with Stone Edge before in this meta. One time, literally one time, and it was during a coaching session. I think this is only the second Nidoqueen I've ever seen. First one I've ever faced myself. So, all right. They do come in with a Superior, which is very good against our team, to be honest. But I have a bit of an energy advantage, so I can always throw before them. But to be fair, even if we were on even energy, you definitely win CMP against Superior. I think they're going to end up throwing Aerial Aces here. We are getting pretty low. If I remember right, this is an Aerial Ace, and I end up shielding. But I'm just trying to win Switch, or at least make it look like I can win Switch, or at least bring this... I was going to say Feraligatr. Superior down to an HP that Stunfisk can farm down. And I think we're at that HP. I think it's probably 5 or 6 away. And hopefully he's 6 away from the Frenzy Plant, because otherwise it's going to be a bit of a... Well, if we take a Frenzy Plant, we're probably pretty screwed here. But big lead, and we actually did a lot of damage to this Gligar, so I am going to throw this resisted move into it just to try to get it lower for later. I end up getting an Ice, a fast attack off here with Dewgong, and that is double super effective, obviously, against Gligar. Gligar has a lot of energy, so this is going to be tough. If they do end up throwing a Shadow Ball into us, it's going to do a lot, but hopefully we can get a Mud Bomb into this. So the question is, do you go for 2 moves and throw one into the Annihilate, or do you just go for the 1 move KO and hope that they're in 1 HP range and that you don't get KO'd by a dig? Because that's what I end up going for instead of the double move and then hope that they lag a turn. I'm just going to hope I survive the dig from here. I don't think we would, but we end up getting the Thunder Shock through, and that wins us the game. Mandibuzz, they do end up coming in with the Steelix here. This is always a tough one because what I end up usually doing is throwing 2 Mud Bombs, letting them throw an attack into Stunfisk, and then switching into Sableye. Or if they end up going for like a Crunch, I'll just switch to Sableye here, usually. Oh, no, I'm 1 away, I think, so I'll throw the Mud Bomb and then switch. Hopefully they don't shield, and then they'll just be in farm down range. And even if they do shield, I guess I'm just going to go into this. We technically win CMP here if they try to go for another Crunch, which they did. Makes sense. The Psychic Fangs, they would have to show before we can throw a move, and then I could farm up a ton, and we double resist it. So it does make sense that they went for that. We're going to obviously go for the returns here. We'll live 1 Dark Pulse for sure. So yeah, we can obviously throw in good timing here whenever. I'm going to go 1 and then return. Probably return does about half HP to the Mandibuzz. Well, after they've been farmed a little bit, they obviously have already taken a little bit of damage. So it looks like it does like 35-37%, something around there. Probably should have thrown the Foul Play just to do some damage, but then it allows them to farm down, and I don't want them to farm down. So I end up coming in with a Dewgong because I know that they're just going to switch right away, so I wanted a little bit of a lead. I'm going to shield the first one because I'm probably just going to go straight Icy Wind against this thing. It is neutral. We're going to lower the damage, hopefully allow Dewgong to take one Power Whip. And yeah, I'll probably just no shield this next one. I think they're going to go for CMP, so we lose CMP here, so I decided to go for the extra move instead of CMPing. Then I can go for a little bit of extra energy. No, but I end up trying to go for the KO here, which kind of makes sense. We're getting a little low on Stunfisk. It's going to be scary. I'm going to shield this, but swap is up. I know I'm going to have to wait a turn here. So I wait for a second, see that they're throwing another Bullet Seed, then I take this out, and then I'll probably just switch to Stunfisk right away so that they don't get extra energy, and I'm just going to go for the Discharge. Technically, oh, they are going to throw a move. I guess I don't remember this game as well as I thought. I think we're going to live a Dark Pulse here. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Technically, I think we live a Dark Pulse, so I don't have to go for CMP or anything, and yeah, we get the win right there. All right. There's a Mantine. Obviously, this is an insanely good matchup. I like to throw on 6 here. I just wanted to show this one Mantine matchup because they played it really well. And I made a bit of a mistake in my switches. They end up throwing a move here, and I decide they must be really weak against Stunfisk. So I'm going to shield the Ice or Water move here. And then I can decide. And it is a Steelix. Again, it's always Steelix coming in. I like to throw 2 moves at it, and then I almost always come in Sableye. But I'm thinking after this game, this was the last game I played today on this team. I'm thinking maybe I should just be coming in with the. Maybe I should just be coming in with the Dewgong. I could easily have farmed this down with Dewgong. Got a lot of energy. If they come back in with Mantine, it'll be fine. Whereas here, I'm kind of like, I'll let it go. I don't care. And then we'll see what they have in the back here. Ends up being really bad for me. I wait the timer out because we actually threw 2 moves into the Steelix. Ends up being an Annihilate. He's going to go for a farm down here. Technically, he doesn't have to shield his first one, but definitely would shield the second one, and then we would get fully farmed down. Yeah, they go for CMP here, and now it's like, do I need to keep this alive or not? And I'm going to be all in on Dewgong here. I still have a switch, which is nice. Maybe I have a catch for later. Or maybe even this is enough to kill a low HP Mantine. Man, I actually know the outcome of this game, and it's looking pretty good for me here actually at this point, but I know the outcome's not great for me. I don't lose this game, but we'll see. The Mantine's attack is lowered now. I'm just going to go for CMP on this next one. Dewgong does lose CMP to Mantine. We talked about that a few videos ago. I think we were using a Mantine team, or maybe we were using Dewgong, I forget. But I do remember mentioning it. Yeah, they end up shielding this, and then I'm just like, oh no. I got to do as much damage as I can, because we're going to go for the fast attack down at this point. Obviously, we're not even close to a Mud Bomb even. And I think we're very, very, very lucky to have come out of that game with a tie. And I'll take a tie, to be honest, in a thing that went pretty bad. I would say in the Steelix matchups, I would still go for 2 moves. They shield or they don't. I don't really care that much. And probably will switch to Dewgong. I think that's the better way to do that. Hopefully you've made it to this part of the video to understand that switch. But yeah, thank you again so much for the support here on YouTube. We have 2 people who are members of the channel, which is freaking awesome. But I don't expect many people to do that, but if you want to, definitely you can join the channel. You get the emotes, you get the badges, and I can see that in the comments. And yeah, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you are not subscribed to the channel, if you would subscribe, that would help me out so much with the YouTube algorithm. But only subscribe if you like watching the videos. Obviously, if you made it to this point in the video, I would think you like it. So if you haven't, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.